A direct instruction approach to introducing academic strategies to students. So what is direct instruction really? Direct instruction is mainly composed of explicitly showing students how to use the skill or the strategy. So diving into what explicitly really means, this is showing the students, so telling them what the learning goal is for the day. So today we're going to be learning how to annotate your text, how to pull out and highlight these keywords inside a text. Introducing the students to that. Introducing them to the criteria for success. How can you be successful when you use this strategy? Modeling this strategy, so giving the students many opportunities to see someone else use this strategy before they dive in and do it on their own. Guided practice with the teacher as well, so that students have the opportunity to practice before doing the strategy on their own. And then teacher feedback is always provided as well. The next step in this approach, in the direct instruction approach, is student practice with teacher support. The next step is students using this in an academic setting. So the teacher has taught the student the steps of the strategy, and they're going to pick the actual setting of when they're going to use this. The final phase of this, stage of this, is really where the student can do the strategy on their own in a setting that they have also chosen as well. So what are effective academic strategies and why are they important? So some examples of these strategies you can use in your classroom are going to be memorizing important facts from academic reading, proofreading homework assignments, using graphic organizers, annotating educational text. And these strategies are important because they help support all learners in the classroom. They build independence, they boost confidence, and they improve academic performance. Okay, so for the strategy, starting from the beginning, how to approach this and deliver this to the students is you want to introduce them to their learning goal, make sure they understand what they're doing. For example, today we're going to learn how to annotate or find and highlight important keywords in a text. So step one also includes gathering all your materials, so things that you might want the students to have. You want to go over here's this handout, we're going to talk about this handout, and then we're going to use this handout. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. When you describe and demonstrate, this is also part of that first initial step. Keep in mind the students aren't aware of the strategy or when to maybe use the strategy. You want to also provide visuals for the students. These can be posters, these can be handouts, these can be anything, but you want to keep these to the main steps of that strategy. You can use the think aloud strategy as well in the class where you're talking out loud, having the students talk out loud. Anytime students are using more of just one of their senses, they're always going to have a little bit better feedback from the learning. You want to elicit student participation, give them praise. So have them come up to the board, have them be a part of that conversation, have them ask questions out loud, maybe answer some questions out loud, do things moving around the room. And then also give praise. In this phase where it's new for the students, giving praise and positive feedback always encourages the students to just go a little bit further. And then you also want to always assess the student at the end of this so that when we do move on to the next stage that we know where everybody is and if we need to go through these steps again. By the second stage, students should be able to follow their notes, use their notes for the strategy. They will most likely need more opportunities for help and support, but they're on the right track. So student practice is all about the second stage, and you want to continue to encourage them to practice. So continue to praise them, continue to encourage them, and then be there to support them. Okay, so at this point in step 3, the students really should be able to follow their notes, use the strategy, and attempt the strategy independently with little to no help from the teacher. So this is the time to make them use the strategy. So the teacher is going to give the students the setting, sort of put them in that scenario. So all that they would need to know at this point is the steps of the strategy, and then the teacher has provided them with the setting. So they'll go through, they'll use their notes, they'll attempt the strategy from here. So in the final steps of this strategy, the students really should be able to use their notes or be able to use the strategy without their notes, independently and in various settings without any teacher support. This is really the expansion phase of this. At first, when you're letting students use this strategy on their own in the classroom, you want to give them different types of material. So giving them varied material. Give simple, concise prompts for when to use this at first. So you might just give a simple, quick reminder. Hey, we're going to go ahead and use our strategy prompt to annotate text, annotate keywords in a text. So make sure that you remember how to do this or pull out your notes if you need them. You can collaborate with other teachers to support students when they use this strategy in other classrooms. Some strategies you'll only use in your classroom. Others will be able to be utilized in all aspects of education, maybe even in the student's personal life as they get older as well. And then students can be peer tutors as well for other students who might need help. Okay, so a brief overview of the MTSS, which is the multi-tiered support system. This is an approach for the instruction for the prevention of academic failure. It also includes an approach to behavioral problems. And there are 3 levels within this MTSS system. Within the MTSS, Tier 1 is really composed and described as the core programming tier. This is intended for all students within the grade level. With these inclusive environments in the schools, this also includes students that may have disabilities or the language learners as well. So this approach really encompasses instruction designed for everybody who would be in the classroom. The MTSS approach really focuses on consistency and the use of evidence-based practices within its approach. So you'll notice that there are a lot of evidence-based material that goes into these practices. One of the evidence-based practices that they use are the HLPs within the Tier 1 approach. These are high leverage practices. So these are developed by educational experts along with the Council for Exceptional Children. And they're basically like they set the foundation for learning in these inclusive Tier 1 environments. It's the fundamental set of practices for teachers to use in the classroom to support K-12 students. And they have these practices laid out in a way that even new teachers coming into the education system can use these as well. So some of these high-level practices they mirror the direct instruction approach. So this strategy lies within that Tier 1 for those reasons. But just to go back over those, so the high-level practices are explicit instruction of the material and student engagement, multiple opportunities for practice, multiple opportunities for teacher feedback, scaffolding of the instruction, and then including the use of assistive technology as well.